So far, we've been talking about, sort of best practices and ways you can stay engaged, but inevitably we are humans and we're still going to fail. So put yourself in future use shoes and you get distracted. Well, what do you do now? First and most importantly, you have to acknowledge the fact that it is not the end of the world, right? We need to expect and plan for inefficiencies at times. Um, and if you were taking a test, right, and you don't know the first question, what do? You give up and hand in your now blank exam to your professor? No. You take a breather, you reset mentally, physically, and you do the absolute best you can with the remaining time. So expecting these distractions to come up and being able to sort of be resilient and be able to put yourself back in that mentality of I'm going to make the most out of this, I'm going to optimize my time is really, really important. If you miss what seems like a key detail, jot down that question and ask either in office hours or at the end of the lecture, if there's an opportunity, ask the professor, hey, just to clarify, I'm not sure I quite got this point. Could you just go over that one more time in your own words? If you miss out on, let's say, 5 minutes of the lecture, right? I see a notification on my phone come up. I send that text. All of a sudden, I get distracted and I zone back in and I missed 5 minutes. Well, it's really important at that time that I jot down, okay, what timestamp on this lecture did I miss? I missed 22 minutes to 27 minutes. Okay, good. I'm going to take note of that. And in the future, if the lectures are recorded, then that's great. I can go back and I can seek out that specific timestamp and just rewatch that 5 minutes, right? Rather than saying, well, there goes the whole lecture and giving up and having to rewatch 35 minutes later. As I said, take a breather and reset. This might mean physically going to the window, looking out the window for a couple seconds, 30 seconds, just taking a deep breath and putting yourself back in that seat or back at your desk and saying, okay, it happened, put it behind you and try to make the most of what's left. Opening a window can be pretty important, especially as it gets cooler out. Studies have shown if you are cool or colder, you're a lot more likely to stay focused, stay engaged. This is something that testing facilities take advantage of. It's always like 67 degrees in a standardized testing facility because they know if it's 73 degrees, people get drowsy, people tend to fall asleep, they're a little bit more lethargic. So take advantage of that and open a window as it gets cooler out. And finally, be reflective and learn from mistakes, right? We don't want to find ourselves in this spiral of constantly making the same error over and over again. If we mess up and we get distracted, we should look back on that and say, okay, what failed here? Was it the fact that I, checked that text in the middle of the lecture and it went downhill from there? Is it just that I'm asking myself to stay focused for too long and maybe I need to plan more breaks out? So being objective and honest and saying, okay, I made a mistake. How do I change my behavior to avoid that in the future is really important.